How much horsepower do you need for dual sport or adventure riding? On the plus side, horsepower can be exhilarating. Over the years, I have had a few rides on this KTM 950, and that instant power on tap is very addictive. But I'm also addicted to remaining alive, which is why I would never buy one. And I ride a bike that barely puts out 40 horsepower. It's why I usually choose the yellow powerband. The yellow powerband, weak and floppy, it's great for KTM riders, those who just don't give a shit, and older riders like me who should have given up a long time ago. It's my personal favourite because I can't even keep the bike upright at walking speed. So the yellow power band means I rarely get out of first gear and achieve a speed where I can actually hurt myself. Perfect. And of course, the 950 is just middle of the road now at only 100 horsepower, while the Ducati Multistrada is pumping out something like 170 horsepower. In the enduro world, a common expression is anything more than 20 horsepower is just wheel spin. One of the traction eRag guys entered a Canadian hard enduro on this $300 XL185 and was overtaking plenty of guys on dirt bikes with 3 times the power and 40 times the price. But does excess horsepower going into wheel spin apply to dual sport and adventure riding? At a very rough guess, I would say that anything more than 40 horsepower is often just wheel spin on dirt roads. In our sillier days, we would sometimes do drag races on remote dirt roads. And usually the DR650 would just grunt away in first place. Then the more powerful bike would rocket ahead once in top gear and the rear wheel wasn't spinning so much. And I have owned that sort of bike too. For a few months I owned a KTM 690 and there was simply no point in using high revs on dirt roads as it just went into crazy wheel spin. But of course, adventure riding is about much more than trying to accelerate hard on dirt roads. If you do a lot of highway riding, then it's good to have all that power on tap for overtaking manoeuvres. And of course, many riders don't get powerful bikes to use that top-end power. They just enjoy loping along highways at minimal revs with the engine barely ticking over. If you regularly carry a passenger, then the extra weight, stability and power of a big adventure bike are all big benefits. I suspect much of this comes down to personality type too. If you regularly feel the need for speed, then lots of horsepower can easily just get you into trouble fast. And you obviously go for the red power band. The red power band. Everybody wants it. Almost no one can handle it. The fear and exhilaration of the red power band is hard to describe and has been best presented through seriously shitty memes over the years. The average human isn't designed to cope with the stresses, and short-term injuries include having body parts torn off under acceleration. Eventually, you will be able to reach for things on the top shelf. Scary stuff. But if you usually stay in your comfort zone, then you will only be using those extra ponies when you really need them. On the other hand, you have the riders into smaller bikes. One thing that has always surprised me is the popularity of Japanese 250s in the USA for adventure riding. Clocking up big mileage on the highways with those little engines singing away at high revs. It's not exactly my thing, but they are perfectly happy with their 20 horsepower. And if you're relatively new to riding, it makes sense to start small and work your way up. For some riders, less is more. For others, there is no replacement for displacement. What about you? 100 horsepower minimum, or just enough to get to highway speeds does the trick.